Okay guys, hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Holy Saint Night, and since many people were asking, they were asking me because one, I'm one of the best house players, my old main faction. Everyone back in the day of Warhammer 1 was saying house is trash, so I made it work. So they were asking about what to do if they were playing as here. So let me check in. They thought that Korn is weak. Korn isn't weak, they just don't use him well. And let me see where he is. I don't play that much chaos anymore. Mostly play as Bretonian Wood Elves. So where is Korn? Where is he? Ah, there he is. Okay, guys, let me tell you. This is. I'm talking about all chaos factions. Just now, just picked Korn because people had questions. So, first things first. House is an elite warrior faction. All of these units, Bloodletters and afterwards, I mean, even their marauders are kind of elite. I guess they need some price increase, the marauders, I mean. Maybe the rest I don't. I'm talking about their chaff, that is considered chaff. They're not mid-shields or chaff, they are kinda elitist units. They just low tier, but it doesn't mean anything. The tier doesn't mean anything in Warhammer and in a good strategy game. It's just unit. These are, because this is a very good game. Now these units, they are highly specialized troops, highly specialized elite troops. Like I said, even the marauders, even the dogs, you can say. One dog, I was using the dog so well, I would kill armored cavalry utilizing dogs, as well as some of other back in the day, if you remember, house knights with lances, dragon ogres, even trolls, armored trolls. So let me begin with, in chaos, what you will have in order to win, for example, as core. Now same stands for every chaos god and chaos undivided. You need to adjust your strategy, of course, and fix it what you want to do. And like I said, you need to get good at the game, get to know it. So let's begin. You're gonna even the chaos warriors are considered it. Like I said, they need some increase in their stats. They do. Some increase in the cost. Definitely the marauders need some increase in the cost as well as their stats. Like they cost 500. This guys, and this guy's 600. Just saying now, but their stats and speed and so on, they need to get some good increase, like the speed, that it's not increased by ranks. They do need more. CA needs to work more on it. In a sense, CA is hesitant, but not anymore, not that much anymore. But they still are. They are afraid to. Well, they made the changes I was proposing in the forums, and everyone liked them. So they just they're just taking their way. They're gonna make it through. They just need to take into consideration a lot of parameters when they add the factions, but they're gonna make it in. Lances, these are the lances. Okay. So. And they also need to increase again. They need to remove the healing caps. Besides, Lore of Life has no resurrection, and Lore of Death. What's that? The invocation of Nehek. I don't remember the spell name. They need to add the percentage and make it like tabletop, and then they won't need it. I mean, there is a lot of changes to come in the game. What's that? What's it doing? Alright. So they are working on them, so they can't just because this is a different name than historical Total War Warhammer, so they can't, they don't have the in-depth experience of how to do it, but they're getting it. They're getting there. So let's go. You need to. I'll just pick some units now at random. Let's pick these. They're iconic, and these shielded guys. Some of these. Forsaken. The pick. Alright. So I'm not getting into the Chosens. But you can, instead of this, you can pick a chosen variant. So what you need to do as Chaos, you will need to increase the rank. Look at this. Of course the speed doesn't increase with the rank increase, like as I was saying. You won't have where are they? There they are. You won't have like a lot of these units. No, this is not the way they play. Chaos plays. In particular, we're talking about specifically about Chaos. It doesn't work this way. We will have one full ranked. Of course, as I said, there's gonna be some changes. That's what they need to do in the stats. Now, let me get to it. People were complaining that Khorne is weak on victory point control and land battles, or because they were not using Chaos roster, not using it well. You need to have elite, highly experienced troops, which I always suggest that they're gonna give them items to pick in and banners. They haven't done this yet. CDCA needs to do it because they play a lot of role. It's not just this. And where's the War Shrine? There is the War Shrine, of course. It's not just bringing the War Shrine. Of course, you don't put any experience on it. It doesn't. You don't need it. Okay, you don't need in this unit to increase its ranks. You don't need to do it on all units. You need to do it on certain units. This is a buffer unit mostly, so it's not gonna expect it to do a lot of damage and kills by itself. So you don't need to increase the stats. But this you do, or these as well. Shielded Chaos Warriors. Look at the cost, for example. This is 130. This is much more expensive. Chosen, of course, with shields. The cost is huge difference, and these guys, look at the difference. It's some armor, the rest stats are kind of similar. Okay, it's some weapon strength, but the rest stats are kind of similar. Even the leadership is the same. 85, 85. So, alright. And you need that leadership to be high. Now, we have the war side of Khorne. Especially on the Marauders, of course, you need to increase their... if you bring, let's say, bring a lot of Marauders. You need to increase all their... You need to increase highly their... How many Marauders you bring, it's up to you, alright? Where are they? Here they are. You need to have them highly experienced. Because like I said, and you gotta have these guys which aren't chaff, as I say. These are highly excellent troops, but you're gonna have these troops, how can I put it, do the general engagements, let me put it this way, escorted by, where is some halberd, of course. Where is the halberds? I guess you can usually we have to bring two of them to escort each small team around. That's how I do them. I have them on some small teams in a sense, and you're gonna have these guys swapping targets picking best engagements, for example, like taking out on the on like 2 front enemy units or 3 while they are engaged with the other marauders. These are anti-cavalry, you need to have them. I mean, 2 you need that. Usually I used to take 2 so I can cover all my teams, or 3 if I had my army. Where are these? There they are, halberds. If I had my troops spread around. Okay, now I'm not making an arm, I'm just showing you. It depends how many small teams I have. Usually I had one to cover a big distance and another one to cover as well same big distance, which meant that I have the entirety of the battlefield, of the battle line that was fighting covered. But I used to swap targets. Attack one, then micro them a lot. Engage targets, the enemy large units. It's of course, let me even on the Forsaken, for example, that are considered tough unit, I used to give them high for the, because as you see they get plenty of, let's see, melee attack. Look at this. And plus leadership, which means they're gonna be in the battlefield to the end. It depends on what army you make. And these are now considered, I mean, all these elite units. And let's say where are the, I'm gonna bring these knights of the what's it called? You can bring these guys, which are the renowned units, but let's talk about some regular units. These are house knights with lances, or regular house knights even, or blood crushers. So we'll pick the house knights with lances, which you don't necessarily need to rank up. Check how the buffs get. This gets a +2, which is from 45 to 47. It's very good. You can leave it there or you can give it more. This gets +2. Okay. So the +2 is here. 44, 45, 47. This is the +2, where it's a good point. Melee defense, okay, it's not that much, but you're not gonna use it for the melee defense. And you can keep going for the leadership. '81, '82, '84 on maximum. But you need to do this, and you will have these elite units. Let's say now these are like house knights, lances, and dual weapons, and shielded warriors, as well as the corn halberds, warriors with halberds, do the killing, as well as the Forsaken. And the rest of the let me show you kind of how an army will be. Let's remove this. May leave this. Remove this. We can leave these guys, though we have these shielded marauders. Let's remove this. Alright, as you see, we have a war shrine also. And what was I bringing in the battlefield? Even a low, let's remove some things of him. Let's see what we're gonna give him. Hey, we have, this is a very decent army for chaos, but like I said, I did some changes. You get to pick what abilities you need to use. You see, we are plus 549. We are not minus. And get to pick what units you need to use. Let's say we're gonna put him on a Juggernaut, so he can escort the knights and do the armor piercing damage when he is in combat. By default, he does. What abilities? So what's that? It depends what you want to bring. Let's give him this, so he hits hard. And yeah, that's a pretty good lord. So you're not gonna have like this is how Chaos Army works. You're not gonna have. Let me pick another army. Let's say, because many were saying Gorn can kill on victory point control. Well, you're not gonna be spreading your troops. You want them, in a sense, as Gorn to be. For the victory points, for example, you have the where is it? The Bloodthirster. Or if you don't want to bring a Bloodthirster, you have the Exalted Bloodthirster as a general who flies and has all this good stuff. He costs 250, 200 and 500 points, and he's a very strong. You don't need to bring Valkia necessarily if you want flying. You can also bring a Demon Prince of Khorne, but you can also bring the Exalted Bloodthirster. But he's a Demon Prince, but he's good. Can he fly? He can fly. See, he can fly as well. But the Exalted Bloodthirster, if we remove this, is cheaper than the Demon Prince. So you have a flyer which can fly all over the objectives, kill the enemy units. You can also escort him with you're not gonna make this kind of army. You're gonna make this kind of army. You're not gonna make this type of army for Chaos. No, it doesn't work. This faction doesn't work this way. And remember, this isn't an RTS. Yeah, oops. Sorry, wrong about that. This army doesn't work. You're not gonna make this, like I said, this kind of army. You're not gonna make it this army. And let's say we have 700. What do we bring? We bring also this. We spared all the resources. But you're not gonna make this army. This army isn't working for Chaos. So for the victory points, you have the Exalted Bloodthirster who flies. If you want to bring another Bloodthirster, you can, of course, a regular Bloodthirster, or even, but well, depends what you want to do, or maybe a Soul Grinder. You will have what's got pretty good. House Knight's Lances all, and this is a very mobile. The Bloodthirster and the Lances are very mobile, as well as some dogs. Usually 2 of them. Whatever you like, maybe you can also bring these Flesh Hounds of Khorne for magic damage, or 1 and 1 is a good combination. Now, about the dogs, not necessarily you need to rank them up, but you need to be careful. You need to start engagements with the Flesh Hounds, who got 60 leadership, and then support them with the Warhounds until the Lances and the Bloodthirsters attack 1 enemy unit. I'm gonna say this: 1 or 2. You need to isolate them and hit the enemy units. That's why you got mobility, so you are able to attack the enemy units. Not isolate them, it's not always possible. You attack 1 enemy unit, then disengage because you can fast, and these dogs block the enemy. And then attack again on another enemy unit, another angle. House requires a lot of micro, even more than playing as Zerg. Now, some Furies also to help on blocking. And remember, these Furies, these guys won't route, so it's just about when they start to demonic instability triggers and they disappear. So you don't need to increase their leadership necessarily, but on this, because it's dogs route, look at this, 48 leadership, up 46, 48. You need to do this. even on this type of unit. And yeah, with the fast dogs you get to cap fast, and they are cheap. Look how much they cost. The cost is you're not gonna be fine, and you need of course some stuff also. Let's pick these shielded marauders for a victory point we're talking about. Give them some upgrades. So look how their stats are. Leadership 70, where's the Chaos Warriors? Plus 5 only leadership. The melee attack 43. They have higher melee attack than the Chaos Warriors actually, but they have less melee defense. So it depends what you want to bring. The armor is different, but at the cost of 1 you can bring like which one costs. Look how much it costs if we upgrade him. So we can bring one. We can bring 1, 2. Let's say we can bring 2 in the cost of 1 fully upgraded, and these marauders are fully upgraded. So, and this doesn't go just to. You can bring it adds on. It adds on, which means. Okay, which means we can have this. Which means we have 5 in 2, which means we got 1 more. And we'll not forget this upgraded use. Now I'm not making a... And let's see what this guy we can do with this guy. Well, we're gonna put... What, this is the flame, I guess. Spits. This is the death, and this is the bloodthirst charge bonus. We can also bring this. This is an explosive bloodthirster. Depends what you want. Okay, and we can also bring this. Yeah, this is a very good cornet army for capturing points. Hold on, map setup. What is it called? Checkpoint battle. Yeah, it's called Scepter. Alright. So you have there you have your checkpoint battle army. Isn't this how this is called? Let me pick one. Hold on, let me remove some. Okay, let me add one. Yeah. Alright. They got their army, let's say. Okay, what if we use the enemy of Kor, who is Slanes? Okay, there we go. They got their army. I mean, that's not the army you're gonna use as if you play. This is just a random generated army. Alright. So we got this army to fight on the checkpoint battle, I guess. So I can what's the what are you talking about? Declare readiness. Oh, that's just me. Ah, no. I need to go to the defense. Alright, so we can start the battle. Let's start the battle. Check it. Bretonnian Forest, which is a checkpoint battle. Let's see how it is. Then you get to bring more troops in the fight. So this is how Khorne works, how the Chaos factions work. And my Marauders, for example, think of them as like, this is similar, I'm gonna say, of course, to foot squires. I don't know what is the proper unit. Or let's pick the I'll just pick the foot squares because they are a very utility unit. They have armor piercing. They have armor. They are armor themselves, though they needed the rework, as I was saying. They're not supposed to be this way. They were supposed to be. I'll talk about the foot squares, the changes they needed since Warhammer Bretonia release, and I know because I played a lot of Bretonia. They didn't make them appropriately. And they were also supposed to have a bow as well as shields and fire, be able to fire and they with their bows while being shielded, and of course I think they're supposed to have a spear, which they won't be armor piercing the spear themselves, but the spear would give them armor piercing. Let's start about hold. Where is the checkpoint, by the way?
Slaughter! There is only slaughter!
What the? What are you talking about? Okay, let's see this. This is let's check this. What's that? This is a checkpoint battle. Or still have okay the defender. That's it's the defender needs to stay alive. So that's a checkpoint battle. My fault. Okay, let's consider. My, what's the other thing called? It's called victory, domination. It's domination. Okay, my fault. I'm not perfect, guys. Let's see. Where's the map setup? Why the hell? I can't pick domination. I guess I can't pick domination. The land battle, there is no defender or attacker. Okay, we can't pick domination. Anyway, in domination, this army that I have here for core, I guess you also have the units you can summon afterwards, so it's gonna be different than this. But this army that I have for core can perform pretty well. The Marauders spread on all objectives. You can move some, you can move them also because they are moving. They got a pretty good speed compared to these guys whose good speed goes 28. These guys got speed 35, so they move quite fast. These guys just engage on the enemy units, but like I said, as Chaos, you need to pick your engagements. Chaos is a very hard faction to play. You need to be very good at the game to play Chaos well. So these guys pick the engagements with the support of the dogs and the Furies. And the Soul Grinder fires on range as well as joins on the engagement. You don't need to rank up Soul Grinders or Giants. Of course, there's a lot to bring. You don't. If you don't bring this, we can bring Minotaurs. We can bring. There's a lot of stuff to bring. So that's with how chaos works. They are, like I said, they are in all chaos units. They're considered to be high tier troops, even the low ones, even the marauders. For example, you can have marauders engaging Sage or Sage with dual weapons and expect to win against them. Two squads of marauders, for example, engaging a Sage squad or what is the other one? Hold on. Let's pick another faction. For example, we have marauders engaging. Let's pick the Kislev. You can have marauders engaging ice guards with swords. Two of them engage, for example, one ice guard, and you expect them to take out the squad. They're supposed to do that. That's what I said. Even killing. Okay, they don't do well against armored. You're not gonna engage marauders against armored corsairs, the Kislev infantry. You're not gonna discover the light war sleds. You expect them to, the marauders, to deal good damage on them, or okay, these are highly armored. The snow leopard, for example. You expect the marauders to one squad of marauders to rout a snow leopard. You understand what I'm saying? You're not gonna. They're not chaff unit or unit just to throw away. None of House is. House actually is. Many think of them as like unorganized militia or something. They are not at all. They are not this type of unit, type of armies. They need all of them. They are considered elite. Like you can think of marauders like being. Let me check. Select a race. Being like Tsar Guard. You can think of this value. Or let's select another race, for example the High Elves. You can think them of the value of White Lions, the House Marauders I'm saying. Of the value of White Lions, like having the value of White Lions. Of course they need to be upgraded. You expect to kill Shadow Warriors, Northern Seaguard. You expect them to Sisters of Averlon, one squad of Marauders to Shadow Walkers. You expect the Marauders to do that. So House is it's not a faction for someone new in the game. I don't advise them to play. Like I said, they need some, their stat needs some love. They need some increase. All the rosters, I mean, there is a lot of job for CA to do. Of course, the price will go up. For example, these guys will cost 500, and ranking them up will cost even more. But their stats and the speed, for example, will be up. Of course, the Marauders of Slanesh will have even more speed. Their weapon strength should go some up. So there is a lot of work to do for CA to do. So okay, now let me. Where is the vampire counts? They need the speed on certain units like Vlad. What's his speed? Okay, his speed is 40. That's good. Speed is 34. Okay, they got 40 speed for the vampires heroes. Speed 60. That's good. Speed. This is slower because he's a white. Necromancer speed. The speed 40. Okay, this speed needs to go to 50, around there. But 40 isn't bad. It's just like I said, CA was hesitant of doing these changes. They seemed they were not too much in the game to get to understand what it is, since it's not a historical title. His speed is 40. This is base speed without, like I said, without any mounts. Mounts, none. Yeah, you see, there is a lot of spares to bring. Alright, let's remove the abilities. Alright, pretty good. Hold on, I can't just do it like this. Now what's this speed? 42. Okay, 38. This speed, the Crypt Ghoul for example, since they are a vampire type, not a skeleton type unit, it needs to go up. This speed is fine, 27. Speed 31 for the skeletons, because these are skeletons. Now this is a vampire type unit, so it needs more speed than 38. And these guys, therefore, they need to be around 50, as there's already someone who made proper videos on what changes to do. I posted it on forums, so he needs to listen to him. And for example, look at this guy's speed 92. Yeah, that's some good speed. That's how fast these guys are. Because speed 50. Yeah, for the crypt horrors, they are a vampire type unit. Yeah, they need this speed. 95. Yeah, they got pretty good speed. These guys. So, with 50 speed, and this with 92 speed. Speed 80. Yeah, that's some pretty good speed. Of course, you can bring the Lord's speed 70, because they are, I don't know, maybe these guys need some faster speed. Okay, this speed is good though for the hex rates, I guess. Maybe they need like 75 speed or something. 72 speed, yeah, maybe. But now, back to our discussion. These guys, they need around 45 speed or some more. These guys need around the vampire around 50. Okay, well, that's the stats are from tabletop. CA is to fix them properly. So they need we need these changes. Like for example, speed 40. He needs. He's got good his unique items. How much costs his 100 and 200. But he needs his 50s around their speed. So we need to see these in the next patch. They need some love. They're a bit forgotten. Now, why I didn't bring this up anytime sooner? Because I wasn't playing with vampires much. I rarely played them, so I didn't get to in detail, in depth about what's going on in the stats, what details I needed to change. So that's all about it. So guys, thanks all for watching. Be well, everybody. I hope these changes take place, because they're gonna make the game much better, as well as all the rosters. You know, they need tons of work, and I hope CA do it. CA will do it, actually. It's gonna be, the game is gonna be even better. It's currently the best game out. It's a 10 out of 10 score. It scores a 10 out of 10. This is the score I give it. I mean, everyone. I look forward for Angry Joe's review. I guess he must have already made a review, because I saw some videos of him reviewing. I think it was for Warhammer 2, I think. So yeah, this game, he said this game scores a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10, guys. this game, if they do the changes they need, Rome 2 for example now is a 10 out of 10. It's made great. Now if they do the changes that this game needs to be I mean according to tabletop, so it's properly fixed, because this is what this game is. It's not but they were right, CA, not to just rush all these tabletop stuff from the start. They were going it slowly, building it properly, so they were right on what they did. So now when these changes happen, I mean in all the factions, right, like for example Good Elves, the Azrai Spear and Bow, Azrai Spear rule, they get armor piercing, the Spear type units, as well as the archers, but they already have armor piercing archers, a lot of variants, so thing about these wild riders getting armor piercing, well, from their charge bonus, which is all adds to damage as armor piercing, and because they won't stay and fight and too much, they will engage as long as the charge bonus lasts, and disengage and charge again. So, or even before the charge bonus ends, you need to macro them well, macro them a lot. Wood elf, in general, the elven units, the elf factions are a are heavy micro intensive. You need to macro them a lot. Well, in a sense, they got pretty good charge bonus also. So you could say that they got armor piercing because you hit and run not with regular time durations, but very fast. So in a sense, you always have armor piercing because you're always charging. So you could say that the Azrael Spear and Bow is already implemented, as well as, for example, the bow. They got the waist targets which are armor piercing. They got the armor piercing variant of Glade Guard, alright. Who is the Deepwood Scouts? Well, they may not have armor piercing, but they engage from skirmish position, so you can tell they may be firing from all angles, which means they do the type of armor piercing damage. But you see, they will work this game, and it's gonna be a 10 out of 10 as it is already now. Okay, it's already a 10 out of 10, and it's the king of strategy games, and it will be for a long time. This 10 out of 10, it's both turn-based and RTS. It's the best strategy game. This and Troy Total War, these two are. Troy Total War is an excellent game. I also give it 10 out of 10. Rome 2 as well scores a 9 out of 10 now after all these patches. I don't know about Attila and Thrones of Britannia. I didn't play them much. So thanks all for watching, guys. I look forward for CA into doing these changes for the best. They're definitely gonna look at all factions and do the changes they need to do, so we get the tabletop implemented correctly. It's just and you can also aim the vortex spells. They finally fixed it. You can aim them. You can aim as you cast them. Let's. These guys have no, they don't have a vortex spell. So let's select another race. Where is he? Who's got a vortex? Tekli's got one. Where is he? Look at our hits. Yeah, we got all the vortexes. Doesn't have a vortex. Yeah, he got the tail lighting. Hold on, I'm not doing that with the Lord of Heavens. Oh, select the race. Select another race. Let me check on Archeon a bit. Where are the chaos? Where are they? Oh, there they are. Okay, there he is. Let's see. Crown of Domination, Slayer of Kings, Armor of Morgar. That's great. Oh, the Eye of Syrian is missing. They need to add it. They need to add the Eye of Syrian too. I mean, it's on Crown of Domination in a sense, but they need to, because it's positioned on it, but they need to add the Eye of Syrian. Come on. Okay, let's just bring everything. Oh, hold on. What's going on? Oh, there is no army here. Alright, let's start the battle. I don't care what it is. It's another. You can name now the spells as you can name them in tabletop. They just walk a distance, then they start moving around. I just wanna let me check on what hotkey you need to press to aim. I think it's control or something, or just hold it and drag the line you want it to move. So CA is gonna do these things. What needs the changes that remain, and we're gonna have this game is gonna be the best game, the best strategy game for a very long time. I mean, it's gonna be played like 20 years afterwards, and it's still gonna be played. Same stands for the Total War Warhammer 40k that we're gonna get. So let me check then what is going, how it's working. Because great thanks to Anticity for bringing this down. Okay, it's an ability. That's why I don't have the Eye of Syrian, because it's a passive. I guess they could add it, or they have already put it in. They've already put it on. Let's see the big Archaeon. Well, the steed is fast, is big now, but I guess it should have been. Should have been bigger, even bigger. I would agree that it should have been even bigger than it is now, but it's big now. It's not My Little Pony. Okay, let's start the battle. Fight or die. Yeah, that's better than stand your ground, because stand your ground doesn't really fit chaos. Fight or die it does. It gives leadership and melee attack. The other gives leadership and melee defense. Doesn't make any sense. What's this? It's this guy affects all allies in range. What's its range? Oh, that's the range. Pretty good. Yeah, let's start the battle. Alright, so let's wait.
I'm tired of this.
This. How much does this cost? 18. Ah, we're getting close.
My blade hungers.
So always when you move, hold shift and drag a line.
They will all pay.
Drag a line, so
Charge
you
them.
don't need to. It will automatically follow completely, even if it's engaged, the line you dragged. And the bigger the line, the larger the line. I mean, the better you're gonna result you're gonna have when you. So your units won't get stuck.
My blade hungers. Swords of chaos to me.
That's how you don't get stuck your units. Most main complaints units, their units stuck. Okay, let's see now how we can add how we can aim the vortex spell. Alright. Okay, there's the line. I hold the line, draw a line. Let's see. It's going to move this direction. No, it didn't move on this direction.
Charge them!
I think hold on, let me consider the bit, and let's rematch. Yes, I think no, I just click and then I use the left click. I think I need to use the right click to aim for this, for the movement. Yeah, it's the right click, not hold the left click. That's how you move units, with the right click. So it's the right click. My fault. Okay, we're at.
Do not meddle in my destiny!
Let's see.
The gods agree!
Let's see. I'm pretty sure it's the
My blade
it's the right
hungers!
click that makes that aims, not the.
Come, dogger!
You just hold the left click and aim with
Charge
drag
them!
the line that you wanted to move with the right click. My fault on that. How long it is? 18. Okay, 2 more. 1 more. Every 9 seconds. 1 power per 9 seconds, and you can of course increase it with the arcane conduit. Okay. Let me. You can name them. Okay, that's a pretty good range. Let's. This. What the? No. Hold on. No. We're joking. No, I don't think. How do I do it? Right click to cancel. Hold the left mouse button to drag and to rotate. Hold the left mouse button to drag and drag to rotate. Okay, I drew a line. Yeah, it moved towards that direction. In general, let me try it again. Alright, let's go to the fit. And let's rematch. It moved in general at that direction, but that was too much of a gap. It's not a wind spell. Okay, so it makes sense. It's not gonna move exactly on that line, but it's gonna move on that direction in general. Like, think of it as a cone that it's gonna move. That's the range of the order you give it to move. I think it's like this, but it describes it well. Great, thanks to Authenticity that for bringing this up. Another.
Is chaos! Come, dogger!
Pretty good. Some metal, some death, and some fire. 3 lures. That's great. So yeah, this is a very good minus weapon damage. You can add some poison hounds on an enemy target and reduce it like minus 50% damage as well as minus spell attack. This renders. Hold on. It's also effect range 35 meters. Yeah. It also got an effect range, which means it's gonna add on a huge stack of enemy units, rendering them, weakening them for good. Now we got this fire spell. Which no armor piercing, but it's alright. You got this to buff your own damage, base weapon damage, base missile damage, the same, but it is. And magical attacks. You got this, Lore of Death, Spirit Leech, damage per second. It affects one strong versus character. That's good. You got a bombardment, which is very useful. White Stranger, aggressive, very useful. And you got a vortex, so which is the purple sun of Sirius. Very good. How much is for the overcast? You can overcast this. It does a lot of armor piercing damage. Alright, so do I need to hold shift or something? Let me check this. I wanna see the difference. Here is extends the effect duration. What's the difference? 11, 22. Alright, so left click to activate, left click to hold the left mouse button and drag to rotate. What is he talking about? Left click to cancel. There.
My blade hungers!
Yeah, it's moving towards the direction I said it. But it's not the wind. Yeah, it moved to that direction. So you drag the line. I guess it's not gonna be a big line, but you know, you gotta bring it some size. Like, where is the? Do I have the? Where is the? Oh, I don't have the pallets. Anyway, okay. So it's automatic. You just drag a small line and you don't need to drag a big one. Just a small line will do, and it will move to that direction. If you drag a big one, it increases the. I guess it increases the width of the line that it's going to move, so you don't get a very accurate. It doesn't go. If you want to go somewhere specific, you need to cast it there and drag a small line. I think it's a big trick. You need to get used to it. So okay, I hope these new changes will hit the game on the next patches. And yeah, you're gonna have this game being the best RTS game for years to come. So thanks all for watching. Be well everybody, and see ya in the next